Hello everyone, welcome to Epps Corner Office. First of all, I want to thank you for stopping by to watch my video. Today we are going to be unboxing and assembling and testing the ANET ET5X. As always, my videos are unedited. If I make a mistake, I want you to be able to see it so that hopefully you won't make the same mistake. But hopefully I don't make any mistakes. Brand new. I've had it for a little while. Just everything's been so busy that I haven't had time to make the video. So tonight I decided I better get off my lazy butt and get it done. So let's get it started. Please subscribe to my channel. Help me grow. Throw that little tidbit in there. Probably throw it in again at the end. But all right, let's get this thing unboxing. As most of you know, early on ANET had some issues. A few bad things made them blow up on the internet. They don't have those issues anymore. I've got a soft spot for ANET printers. It was my first printer. I've got 4 of them now. They're good printers. Typically they do a good job. Of course, like any printer, they can always use a few upgrades. This one, once it's done, will get a TH3D easy mat, probably solid bed mounts. I will probably put marlin on it at some point. Right off the bat, get this opened up here. It comes with a full roll of filament, black PLA from ANET. It's their material, so we'll set this over here to the side. I'll probably use a roll I already have opened up. Good solid foam like always. Alright, at the back we got paracord, some cutters. Never have too many pairs of cutters. Got good springs on it. Spool holder. It's a top mount spool holder. We'll set that over there. Belt. Scraper. Look at the scraper real quick. Oh, that's a nice sharp scraper. Can't ever have too many scrapers. I end up using them for stuff within the house. Ever important instructions. Plastic ruler. Thumb drive with a extra nozzle. 0.4 I'm sure. Toolkit, which is a screwdriver, 3 Allen wrenches, ball head wrenches, and a really small wrench, and a package of screws. Next you have, let's see, I can get that out. Sticky sheet. Oh, that's tight. Set that over on this printer. Let's get the gantry out. This is packed in there tight. Their laser cutting of this foam sure did a good job. Alright. That out of the way. So as you can see, it is dual Z with dual stepper motors on it, which is I really like. And it's good looking too. Set that here to the side. We have the hot end. Oh, I got a screw in the bottom of the box. Have to figure out where that goes. And a hammer nut. I see another screw laying down there. That doesn't bode well. Means I gotta find where screws go. That'll be alright though. Not my first printer install, so I hear a screw in there, so I guess we'll be pulling the bottom off. Oh, I can see the screw with hammer nut they go here to mount your gantry with. Let me set that over here for now, out of the way. Get this other screw. Make sure there is nothing else in this box. No more screws. Alright, so let me get this out of our way. Very well packaged. Can't fault them for that. They do a good job of the packaging. Alright, let's get this up here where we can take a look at it. So it comes with a glass bed. Everything's taped down really well. Let me turn this. As you can see, glass bed. Everything's held down with cloth tape. It's got spacers on it. Let's go ahead and get this off. Some wooden spacers to keep the bed from moving. Alright, well, first right off the bat, before we even look at the directions, let's open the bottom up and see what screws loose. Boy, I hate setting that on that bed. Let me turn this way. There's definitely a screw in there. So, it has the warranty void tape, which, if you know, it's from China. They're made in Shenzhen. Warranty means nothing for us in the U.S. I prefer to use my own wrenches. They're just a little easier for me to use. And you got to grab the right size. These wrenches are actually from my RC racing days by Mugen Seiki. I love them. They have served me well over the years. They have replaceable tips, but I've never had a tip go bad on them. So can't fault them for that. This will allow us to take a look at the electronics while we're in there. Picture right now. Two more screws. Stabbed a hole in my finger, or in my thumb I should say. Taking some supports off with a set of side cutters, and let me tell you what, that sucker is tender. Alright, last screw. This should now come off, I think. Nope, gotta take the wheels off, or the feet off. I got a feeling that's gonna fall out, but we'll see. It's definitely a well fastened on bottom plate. I knew that was going to fall out, so is this one. Let's just go ahead and get them. There we go, got those out. Alright, set this off to the side for a minute. And there is a screw. Now to see if I can figure out where that one goes. So here's a look at the inside. Let me switch over here. Get this up in here. So I can move this around. There's your power supply. Grip connects. Here's your board. Why do I have that on? Let me turn this picture-in-picture off. Sorry about that. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Alright, power supply. Here's the board. There's your Y motor. Cables go through. As has been noted in others, they probably should put a grommet in here to prevent wear, but looks like a pretty snug fit, so it probably should be okay. Got a fan over here on the side to bring air in to help for cooling. I'm going to set this back and see if I can figure out where this screw is. So I'm going to turn this here. It is not a board screw. Light. Oh, I don't want that far. Let me grab this little flashlight over here. And of course, one of the feet fell off, setting it over here. A flashlight. Well, I know that screw has to go somewhere, but I do not see a vacant screw hole anywhere. Looks like all of the screws. Oh, wait, no, yeah. All the screws are in on the motherboard. Power supply is bolted down. Man, I got no idea on this one where that could have come from. I see no missing screws, no empty screw holes. Everything has, everywhere there's a place to put a screw has a screw in it. So I guess I'm going to let that go. Well, at least we got to look at it. It has a Sopadar power supply. It's a 360 watt, 24 volt, 15 amp power supply. I don't need that light on. Terminals are all good. All thing I did was snap this cover back down. Everything's good and tight. Very clean on the inside. Let's go ahead and put that cover back on. I got a screw. Oh, that's not good. Try not to do that. Let's just set this up on this bed. I hate to. We're going to do it anyway. And there's two of the three. So let's put it back together real quick. Alright, first I'm going to try to put these feet back on. Not tighten them until I can get everything in. Kind of bothers me about that screw being in there, but I sure could not find a single spot that was missing a screw. What did I just knock off? Oh, great. I am 100% confident that was a screw I just knocked off somewhere. Gonna be one of those nights, I can tell already. Maybe it was that extra screw. My dog is very unhappy. I blocked the door into here because he just gets underneath my foot. So I put a step stool in the doorway, and he is sitting over there groaning at me, giving me dirty looks because he gets up underneath my feet. He doesn't like to get too far away from me. If you hear a snore or something, it'll be him. His name is Sumo. Alright, almost done. I missed one up in this corner. These are in. That's a pretty big screw. That extra screw we had left. Tighten these feet back up again. Alright, we got those all buttoned up again. Good deal. There's the glass bed popping off. Set that off to the side. That's what I heard go tinking. I heard a clip popping somewhere. Great. Probably never find it again. Alright, here we go. So let's get the directions out. Now that we've checked that, there's no more rattles. We get the qualified certificate. Oh, I gotta get the camera here. Where's my camera at? Oh, it's over here. That's the qualified certificate. Now let me put this back on. All right. Okay. What else do we got here? Dear friend, thank you for purchasing and using ANET 3D printer. Warranty items, product, model, parts list. The user manual and the setup manual. So, for setup manual, it is, let me pull this up here. walk around so you can kind of get a look at it. As soon as I find the screen. Why is it not getting it? Did I lose my screen? Huh. Why does it not? Oh, I'm on the wrong view. Duh. Sorry about that. I forgot which view I was on. So here's the setup manual. Use step 1, attaching the gantry. Step 2, attaching the hot end with the belt. Plugging up all the wires and attaching the spool holder. Pretty simple operation. If you've ever set up a printer before, this should go really fast. Open up the screw bag. Get all those out. Got the 4 for the gantry. Alright, so okay. So that slides in here. I need to get up. Their range out. Well, that's not right. Let me look at that again. I believe put the bottom screws in. Oh, I thought it was. little bit ahead of myself putting these side ones in. Not moving correctly. Now, I have not tightened these all the way down until I get them all in place. Just a little snug. Get the other two. I'm trying to do this so that y'all can at least see my pretty face while I'm doing it, but I gotta be able to see. I can't see nothing. To start, the screw's blind. It's kind of like the blind trying to hit a blind hole. So, come on, that's not right. Hole is not quite wanting to line up right. So, means this bracket, it's got support brackets up here in front, which, by the way, is not super tight. Let's try that. Normally this is the easiest part. took one of the other ones off. Where's my light? It shows that they're fairly lining up. Let's try it again. Supposed to do. Well, this is getting very frustrating. I apologize. Like I said, this is typically the easiest part of the printer is putting these bottom bolts in. I'm going to take this other side loose first. Actually, I'm going to set it up a bit. I'm going to take the other side loose. I know it. See if it just transfers it over. Let's try putting the other side on. Oh. So that all looks right. This one is sitting in. I have to be able to see to start the hole. We'll drop the screw. Well, like I said at the beginning, if I have an issue, you'll see it. I'm having an issue with the gantry bolts lining up, as you can very well see. There, this one side is just not wanting to line up. So let me do this. Wrong size. That should be alright. That gives me plenty of room. As soon as I spun that bracket out of the way, it lined right up. So let me start from this side. I got that side started. Let me start this side. I don't have to do the same thing. Second bolt in. So I did not super tighten those until I get everything started. One more on this side, should go in no problem. So let me show you this. I was having a problem, as you could very well see, with getting the bolt holes to line up on this side. So what I had to do was, there's a bracket. Let me switch cameras here. So there's a bracket right here. I took this bracket loose. As you can see, I took one screw out of it, kind of loosened it up to get it actually pivoted all the way out like that. Got all that lined up, and those are tapped holes in there. Now I'll put those screws back in and tighten those up. Real quick. Could have been worse. The brackets are a really good idea. They do provide support. Not against them at all. Is it the right screw? I think so. Yep. That's the right size. Get this bracket screws tightened down good and tight. I'm going to check. I did not take these loose, but I'm going to check them just to make sure. Okay, those are tight. Now the directions show for 4 screws of this size to go into the side brackets into tapped holes. So just all the more support. We should be at bed leveling by now, I would guess, if it wouldn't have been for that issue trying to get that screw started. But it's all good. Two per side. I like how this is designed because by the time you get all the screws, those front brackets, they're made to have T-nuts on them, but I am obviously missing some because there's one on one of them and I only have 2 more T-nuts. So that's a front brace. I'm not too worried about that right now. It's got side and bottom. I will add those in later. If ANET happens to watch this, make sure you got all your parts, please. Except they're not here. I have plenty. I just not going to dig them out. I would probably pull those front brackets since those are tapped down into the frame and add the T-nuts and then slide that bracket down. That'd be the right way to do that. All of these bolts are tapped into the extrusion. Good and solid. Alright, we got past those hurdles. Next, it shows you putting the belt with the hot end on. So we'll get this unpackaged here. Let me see. How's this? We got some blocks in here somewhere. Where? So this does have some extrusion stuff, whatever you want to call it, the rubbers in here. Just take a Allen wrench or something, pull it out. That will keep your bed from sliding. Do that before I forget. Locks the bed down for transit. Keeps it from sliding around and getting broke. It's pretty blue. There we go. Now the bed size. I want to check this belt. Belt's pretty tight. So for your Y adjustment, this is your Y belt adjustment. You take these 4 screws loose pull it back until you get to the belt tension you want. That might be a little loose, but we're going to try it, see how it goes. You can always adjust that later. Oh, there goes that camera. All right, back in business. So I'm gonna try to do this. Maybe we'll do it this way. A little bit closer up. So take these handy dandy snips they gave us, cut the tag off. Tag says, I have no clue. It is not in English, so automatically goes to the trash. If I can't understand it, it goes in the trash. So you do have eccentric nuts on the bed, on the gantry, and on the hot end. So you slide your hot end on from this end, in theory. If I get it in there. Ooh, that's pretty tight, so we're going to have to loosen that. But let's get the belt out, put it on first. That is way too tight. Comes with zip ties as well. Take your belt, run it underneath, bring it around both places, around your pulley. Let's see if I can show this to you. Sorry. So you bring it around your pulleys. I can do this without seeing it, and slide it into the slot. As you can see, slides into the slot right there. Then you bring this one around and do the same thing on the other side, which I'll have to get up and go over here to see that. So now if it's too tight and you can't get it in there, your tension is this motor on for your X-axis. You just loosen it up. No, I didn't. Slide it in. It's got 4 screws. Your 4 screws that hold the stepper motor on. Slide it in a little bit. Give yourself just a little bit more slack. It will only go so far. There we go. So we put this built in real quick. Make sure everything's the way it's supposed to be, and you slide it in to the ferrule, the brass ferrules. As you can see, that they both slide in here and here for your belt. And then I'll turn this around and you'll be able to see how we tension this. So to tension your XXE belt, it's these 4 screws. You pull it over, get your belt where you want it, tighten all 4 screws. That gives me good tension on my belt. Everything's tight. So that's how you tighten up for your gantry. Now we'll have to use my wrench and adjust the eccentric nut, because that is way, way too tight. But I will raise it up for that. Just do that now before I forget about it. I think the next steps are plugging in all of the wires. But I want to do this before I forget. A little bit higher. You want it smooth with no wobble. See, that gets you wobble. Takes out the wobble. I don't feel any bad spots in the wheels, so that's good. I have no wobble, so for me and how I like it, no wobble, smooth back and forth across is what I'm looking for. So next it has you plug up all of your wires. So you've got wires holding down all of your cables. I'm going to turn this around. So let's go back to this. This seems to work better. So as you can see, here's a prime example. They've got a cloth tape that holds down everything. That's what they use. It works really well. They'll have you plug in your stepper motors, and then these plug in over to here. Everything is labeled. Of course, your Bowden tube flows in here. I'll check it, but I think it may bind too much over here. We'll just have to see. I may take one piece of this tape off, but I'm going to go ahead and switch back and we'll start plugging up all these wires. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to turn this a little bit so I can get to the tape. Peel the tape off. Of course, everything's keyed. It's not hard to do. So, other than that little issue with getting those bolts lined up, having to take that bracket loose. Well, and that piece of tape was under that motor. And look, I found another T-nut. I'm up to 3. That will give me enough if I've got the bolts. Maybe. I think that might be. No, that's too big. Let me see. What's those T-nuts are these? That might be the ones to go in those brackets. I might have. That might have been what that screw was for. Somehow it probably went down through one of the slots where the cables are. Would be my guess. So this is the cable that feeds everything from the board up to here, up to the top, and it is keyed, and it's got clips that you open up, put it in, slide it in. They will click into place. That is that one. This cloth tape's really good tape. I need to roll with that. I think a lot of times that would have done some good for me. Oh no. 2 of those T-nuts are going to go for the spool holder. So I don't have enough. But that'll be alright. I'm not worried about it. These have slots going down through. You can tuck the... You don't need all the cable out. Don't put it in a bind, but you can tidy it up if you choose to. Looks like it has a type. I can't really see. Let me look at that from the bottom view real quick. It's got insulation on the bottom of the bed. The cable is clamped through 2 clamps here. So for strain release, I don't think you should have any problems there. All of these are labeled really well. Just look on the board, you can see. Let me pull this around. Tripod view. Oh, let me move it over a little bit. Sorry, my hands are a little wobbly. Light's not the greatest. Put this on here. As you can see, sorry, my flashlight's going to blow it out a little bit. Everything's labeled. You get your in stop, your plus and minus. Everything on the cables is labeled, so it's really easy to plug it in. We'll do that real quick. So just check the wire, see which spot it goes into. This end, temp, end. Just make sure they snap in, clips clip. Everything should be fine. All of those are connected. Push that in all the way. That should be good. Connected. All right, all of the wires, belts, belt seems to move pretty smooth. Next will be, let me put this, see if I can find the clips. I'm not going to be able to find the clips for this. I found one of them. If I can find the other one. I heard one ding over here. If I can spot it, let me look real quick. Just not certain where it went. Let me grab my flashlight. Go off camera for a second here. Go down the floor and look. Yes. Got it. So we'll put that one back here. Alright, that puts our glass bed on there. Actually, before we do that, let's do this. I will put a TH3D easy mat on the magnetic mount flex plate. So in the meantime, we will throw this on to get our first prints on. When they cut that halfway through that mat, so I wouldn't continue to use that no matter what anyway. Wow. All right. We got that on. That one on each corner should do us. I'm sure there's probably 4, but as you heard, several things went zing throughout my various adventures on this. So I'll make sure this is off. Get my paracord down here. Sorry for jiggling. camera a little bit. Alright, before we do this, before we fire it up, let me find my ruler here. I'm missing something. I'll use that. We're going to run this down. With the power off. And I'm going to take I use strips of paper. I just slice them up. It kind of saves time. Get it close down to the bed. I know this just came with a ruler. So I'll use their ruler. Their clear ruler is a little bit hard to see. Get that down where it's pretty close. There we go. Maybe a little bit up. So get that close. Then you want to measure your gantry and make sure both sides are the same. And I cannot see that. Let me find my. Here we go. I tend to use a metal ruler because I can read it. So I put it on there. See where it's at. So this side's a little high. So now my X gantry is level. So what we're going to do, see, that's got to go up. All right, let's do this. Let's do it this way. So what we're going to do is we're going to first try to get these. You don't want it to just drag a little bit. So press the bed down. We want to get all four corners somewhat level before we start. Alright. Push this bed down. Tighten this up. Slide our paper into there. And then back to this back corner. Double check this corner, make sure it didn't move too much. Alright, that gets us fairly close. So, next thing we're going to do is put it here in the middle. And you want to, what we want to do next is we want to set the sensor. So I like about 2 millimeters. I think that works really well. The wrenches, and I need to check ANETs real quick. The wrench that comes typically with the printer is about 2 millimeters. So let me check that real quick. There's about 1.68. Let me get one I've got laying over here. There we go. 1.99. Close enough. That gives you a good basis for your height for your sensor off of the bed. So we want to check this, and that's way tight. Yeah, that should be all right. So then we want to, let me raise that just a hair. Well, I think I just messed up. Let me go back over this process. Yeah. So think I have those wheels way too compressed. So let me double check everything real quick. I'm just double checking all this, make sure. Well, I think I got some serious bad board. Let's see what this does. Alright, that's good. So, we want this about 2 millimeters, and if you need to move this, it has an adjustment over here. I'm not 100% confident on what size that is. They only gave me 3 wrenches, so that ain't it. Well, they did not give me a wrench small enough to fit that. It is smaller than that. All right, there we have one. I am betting that I have to. I'm trying to adjust this sensor down, which it does not say anything about, but that's kind of the way some of this stuff goes. Not a word. But that should have us at about 2 millimeters. I had to loosen it all up and actually had to give it a little bit more slack in here, but that puts me right at the thickness of the wrench, which measured was 1.99, so that should be good. Next thing we do will be, let me see how this fits. It's going to work, I think. Next, we're going to turn it on, and we're going to set the sensitivity of the sensor. So I'm going to move this over here. And we're not going to tell it to home or anything because we got to get everything right first. So you'll see, I'm going to turn it on. Keep your finger on it. Good. ANET printer. As you can see, maybe, yes, you can see that that has a red light. That means that it is sensing the bed. So what you want is it to just come on, because as you can see we're a little close, but we can adjust that with the offset. It's pretty close. We're 2 millimeters away, so we want the light to just come on. So you will turn it till it goes off. See, so it's off. Screwdriver slip on. Off. On. Okay. What that will allow as, in theory, that sets the sensitivity for 2 millimeters away to detect the bed so your nozzle doesn't crash in. So we did that. So in theory, I'll raise this up just a little bit. So when you level your bed, you always want to preheat. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell this to, I know y'all probably wanted to see that, but it's all right. I'm going to tell it to home, keep my hand on the finger, and hopefully it will be just right. Right here. Hopefully it didn't crash into the bed. If we got the sensor set right. I do not like how that goes. Alright, and we are buried in bed, so just a little. What that tells me is that the offset is not correct, so This does not have quiet steppers on it. This is not the Pro version. Alright, we're just a little bit off, so see where that lands us. What I'm doing now is I am into the level, and I'm the center screen here. Let me scoot this back a little bit more. There you go. I'm adjusting here. This is your Z offset, and then I will heat the bed, and then I'll do a manual a couple times to make sure it's right, and then I will go through an auto. So that's still too much. Okay, close enough. It's pretty close. It's a little close, but not bad. I've got it preheating. Once it gets up to, I typically print with my bed at 60, so once it gets there, we'll go through the manual process on each corner probably twice, and then we'll go through the auto. It'll take 16 points, and then we'll go from there. In the meantime, one thing I did not do yet is put the spool holder on. So let me get this on. Well, that's heating. Good enough. So I need 2 T-nuts. There's one. T-nut is going up. Throw this up real quick. Alright, we're at 60, so got the spool holder on while we're doing that. This is an old big desk that I work on. But sometimes it still doesn't have enough room. Alright. That won't hurt anything. So, first we're going to do a manual level. Excuse me. Alright, manual. I still think that's way too low. So I'm hitting the plus arrows because this is still, that's pretty good. Let me hit that okay. After the bed heated, of course, your bed moves as it heats up. So once I did that, my Z offset was quite a bit off. So I adjusted that. We'll see how that does. That's pretty good. So that will hit corner 1. We're going to do a manual adjustment. That's way high. So you just want it to where it drags your paper. Okay. Then we'll go to 2. Just drags. 3. So if you stick it up there before it comes down, make sure it doesn't go underneath the sensor. Just drags. Now we'll hit 4. Okay, I want to check 1 again. Didn't have to move much by doing it manually. The first go around before it had power or anything, before it was even heated up, you know, it got it fairly close to level. 1 moved just a little bit, so that's why you run it around a couple times. As you adjust them, you know, it tilts, so it's always good to run around your corners a couple times. That's pretty good. 3. And 4. And really, they were all pretty darn close. So I'm going to hit OK. Now we'll allow it to home, and I'll double check my Z offset. It just drags, so I'm going to be good with that. So now we're going to go to auto. And double tap Start automatic leveling. So we're already close to the bed. So what this will do is it'll take 16-point reading. It will only show you 9 on the screen, but it does take 16. So it will now run through the bed leveling process, and that will do the offset points across your whole bed. So it checks the center of the bed. It goes up quite a ways to make sure that that the sensor clears, that it's not getting any interference, and then it'll start its bed leveling. It's a little slow. With Marlin, you can go quite a bit faster on that. It came with a full roll of filament. I'm just going to grab one I've already got open. Just because I don't need to open another roll of filament. So, let me see how this is. Use some of this Strong Herald green. Hopefully it's not tangled. I'm not going to feed that just yet, but we will stick it through the filament sensor, so I'm ready to feed it. Excuse me. I guess that these need a little lube. I use the three-in-one PTF lube. A little bit of that right down there. I ain't gonna lube the whole thing. It's not like we're gonna be doing anything big right now. We'll just do a print or two off of the card. So this will take a little while. I guess while we're doing that, I can see what's on. Pop this in my computer real quick. Yes, it is a 0.4 extra nozzle that it comes with. I will pop this in the computer real quick and see what files they've gave us to print. Hopefully it doesn't crash anything. No, we got a dog and a squircle. And both of them are really long prints. See if there's anything else on here. Software, Cura. English instructions. Please read the... please read the installation instructions carefully before use. It's a text file, and it says, "Dear customer, when you have finished assembly, you can start printing. But if you want to try extra modification, please be cautious about modification. Any risk caused by modification will be undertaken by user. The manufacturer will not be responsible for this. Please adjust your voltage to your voltage for your power supply." Mine's at 110. It's labeled 110. They don't work if it doesn't. So comes with Cura 14.07. It comes with a config for that. It's got a slice and print connections text file. Let me do this. Let me blow this up for you so you can see. Did not want to do that. Let me window that, make it a little bigger. Sorry. So it says recommend using repeater directly via USB connection. Move that just a little bit. Cure could use for printing through USB, but the compatibility is bad. Repeater supports slicing, but not as much settings as Cure. Then it gives you a start code and an end code for you to use, which is start code is home extruder. Turns off the fan. G90 for positioning. G29 E0. Then it does a temp, end code, shuts everything off, moves everything back. Standard deal. Comes with, like I said, comes with Cure 14.07, software user manual and config file. And back up, like I said, software. That's the fact RG says if you work on it, it's on your own. So my bed leveling is complete. So we should be. Settings. Let me go to prepare, and I'm going to tell it to go ahead. Well, my hot end's already heated up, so we're good. So don't want it to fall off. Let me go ahead and get this filament loaded. With that green, boy, you can sure see it go right in. And it was tested because I'm pushing green through, and it pushed a bunch of black out. So at least we know they tested the hot end at the factory. As you can see, let me get off the desktop. It had, there's the green. You can kind of see it push some. If it quit wiggling, it's probably not going to. It's got black on it too, so they did test it. Move some of these tools. Get this over here towards the bed. Let me get this card. And pop it into the printer. So we're preheated, way hotter than print. Oh, here's the menu. We get quite a bit of glare from overhead lights. There you go. So back up to prepare. I hit preheat. I did that for my leveling. Then you go to print. Scroll down. Select dog. It says it's 2 hours, but the squirrel is 4 hours, so we're going to go with dog. And we told it to print. So here in a minute, it's going to, once it adjusts everything, 100%, bed 60. Here we go. Get that squirrel off there. Like I said, this is not a quiet printer, folks. Does not have quiet stepper motors in it. The Pro does. The Pro also comes with a Meanwell power supply. Obviously, this one doesn't. We will see. Of course, they manufacturers slice everything with a raft because it's hard for a print not to stick if you put a raft down. So it's going to do that. See it laid down some plastic. I will change the way that PTFT tube and cabling is. Look at that while this is starting. It's got a spot where you can zip tie. I don't like how that droops down once this, because it literally sits on the bed. I'll probably move the PTFE tube and fix that. after this is done, we'll let her get going to see how it's doing. Like I said, it's short a few T-nuts. Make sure the spool's over here. I did not like that. I didn't move that far enough. In theory, I can move that. There we go. I had it too close to the end, and the spool was actually sitting on the end of the gantry. Did not have enough clearance. Let me show you what I was doing. See, I had it sitting too close this way. It was actually sitting up here. I hadn't noticed it, so I moved it back some. Having to take the bracket loose to line up, get the holes lined up, not a big deal. I should have just done that from the get-go, but you know, we can get kind of stubborn. I'm like, I can hit that hole. Obviously, I couldn't with the bracket in place. It was short. There's, on this bracket, here where I'm pointing, there's 2 holes for a bolt with T-nuts. Those are not in here. There's no T-nuts. I have 1 extra T-nut and 1 bolt. This side has 1 bolt in it. I've got a whole thing full of T-nuts and bolts, so I will put those on later. I'll take those brackets off, attach the T-nuts, set them back in there, tighten everything down. So it's got connections up through the bottom of the gantry like normal, and then on the side it has 2 bolts that go in, and then on the front it has the T-nuts that are missing. So it's going to be rock solid. As you can see, it's printing pretty fast. It's getting the raft put down. Let's see if I can drop that down a little bit for you, get a little bit closer look. It's a little manual focus, cheap. I don't know, I think I paid $25 for it, webcam, to put on my tripod. I'm pretty happy with it. I also use them on my printers. When I catch them in stock, they go out of stock pretty quick. They are, I don't even remember the brand of it. I got some over here somewhere. I don't see them. I've got a couple of them to go on printers. So I was going to tell you the brand, but oh, here they are. It is a Stream webcam, made in China. I got it off of Amazon. Let me show you. That's what the packaging looks like. But it is a manual focus webcam. For putting on a printer to monitor your print jobs, like a manual. I like a manual focus because, as you know, when something's moving, autofocus tends to go in and out, especially if you're trying to use cheap cameras. These seem to work really well. Like I said, you can catch them on there. I have an alert set up on them. I've bought them as low as $10, so you can get them pretty cheap. But they're good for what I'm using them for. And like I said, I bought them to use to put on my printers, and I threw one on this tripod, and it has worked well for doing videos, for close-ups and for watching stuff. Doesn't have autofocus going in and out, so that's always a good thing. Kind of putting up some of these tools. The screwdriver they gave me did work. It's just barely small enough, but it is a decent little screwdriver. Gave you 3 wrenches. They did not give you one small enough to adjust the proximity sensor on the side. I had to have one of those of my own. It shows the one is, but that ball end sure wouldn't go in there. So it's probably the right size. I just wasn't holding my mouth right. You got a spare 0.4 nozzle wrench, which got the standard blue cutters. The spring on this is really good. I like that. You can never have too many pairs of cutters. I have them in my vehicles, in my little tool bag I use on my vehicles. I've got them my toolbox out in my shop, and of course I've got them basically by every printer in here. So it works really well. they're just, you can't have too many of them. And they wear out. You don't feel bad about tossing them in the trash because, you know, you got them cheap. I guess that's okay. It's kind of hard to tell. It's not the prettiest. Probably go up. I'm gonna raise the temp up. They only slice that at 200 degrees. I hardly ever print PLA at 200. Of course, it jumped up there quick, so that should flow a little bit better. We'll see. We'll let this go. I don't know that I will let it go the whole time. I don't know that I want to sit here for 2 hours waiting on a dog to print. But first impressions, it's like I said, the missing a few T-nuts and bolts for those little brackets. Other than that, you know, you're going to have screws vibrate loose. That's why when you get a print, you know, anything, not just a printer, but anything electronic like this, you know, check all your connections, check your bolts, because, you know, they're coming from overseas. They get bounced around. You know, typically they're on a boat. You know, the old saying, slow boat from China. But things do come loose. It's not their fault. I mean, you can see on the boards that they try to hot glue things in place just so they don't come out, so it limits the possibility of error for everybody. I usually peel all the hot glue off, but they do the best they can to package them. You know, from the days when 3D printers first started for the home user to now, it's light years different. They've come a long way, no matter what brand it is. You know, they all strive to provide a good product for us at a reasonable price. Let me look the current price up on this real quick on Amazon while we're watching this print. Amazon. I don't remember off the top of my head exactly what I paid for this. I did buy it. Looks like they're on sale right now for... Let me double check this. Wow, that's better than what I... So I paid more than this for it, but, well, maybe not. They're on sale right now for $239.99, and this is for a 300 by 300 by 400 printer. And there's a coupon that if you click it, it's an extra $21. So basically, you know, a little over $200, you can get a 300 by 300 by 400 printer with auto bed leveling. Like I said, it doesn't have the upgraded power supply or the silent steppers, but at that price, do you really expect it to? Let's see how much a Pro is. I don't even see a Pro listed. I'm not even seeing a Pro right now. Did I look right? I don't even see a Pro. I was going to look at the Pro, but I don't see one listed right now. I'll put a link in the description on the printer for this printer, or for the link to Amazon for this printer. You know, like I said, it's got a $21 off coupon right now, so that puts it at $218. That's just dirt cheap. I mean, for this size of printer, like I said, it's not the quietest. You wouldn't want to have it sitting next to your bed while you're trying to sleep, as you can hear it. But all in all, so far, it's a pretty good printer. He said, I will, just because it's my preference, and it does have a bed leveling sensor, I'll probably put solid bed mounts on it, and I will put a TH3D flex plate, which I have sitting right here. I've got plenty of them. Got more than what I thought I had. With the magnet. It's a 3M magnet, but I'll use. I've got a textured one, which is this I bought for my ANET E12, same size printer. Been a great printer. It's modded like you would believe. It runs a volcano. I run it with a .8 nozzle on it. It's a lot of fun to print with. I have two ET4s, one of them sitting here and one of them up here. Real happy with those. I'm going to, now that they've got Marlin 2 and they've got a way to put a bootloader on these, I'm going to probably on one of the ET4s first flash a bootloader on it and get Marlin 2 installed on it, because that opens it up, makes it easier to set your extrusion and make changes on it. But looks like it's printing well. It printed its raft. It's printing a lot better now that I bumped the temp up. This is, I'm using some 3D Soltech green. I don't remember what kind of green they call this. Just something I had sitting over there. No sense opening up new spool when I've got 20 spools behind me already open. Just use some I already had. It is great that they're including a full roll of filament with the printer though. I wish every manufacturer would do that. Let me flip this around. Here's your screen while printing. It shows you your temperature, your extrusion, your bed temp, time that it's, and your percentage, and it also shows, let me move that over, shows that we're printing the dog and it's supposed to take 2.5 hours and we are 4% into it. So it's going real well. Almost put that in the wrong spot. We will let this go and see how things go. I should have done this on a live stream. I've got Streamlabs and everything. I'm tired. I know I've got plenty of friends out there that I get on their streams that if I popped open, a live one, they'd hop right on and harass me throughout the whole thing, and which I would be fine with. Everybody that I hang out with live streams are great people, very knowledgeable. The people that helped me when I first started and continue to help me. I mean, I don't claim to know it all. I'm nowhere close to being an expert at assembling printers or using them. I've had a lot of success with my printing. I printed a lot of fun things for my friends and for myself, and I've printed utility things for around the house. It's just a fun, great hobby to get into. I know a lot of people really got into it with the start of COVID last year when everybody was told pretty much stay home. I'm sure printer sales went through the roof. I know filament prices went up. Filament was kind of hard to get, but watch for sales. You can get filament cheap, and you can get if you're, and it depends on what you want to do. There are some amazing filaments made in the U.S. that they cost more, but they are higher quality plastics. I buy a lot of the stuff. I watch for sales. I mean, I'm cheap. I have a lot of fun with this, but I don't know that I've ever gotten bad filament. I've got some that had moisture in it that I needed to dry, which I've got a dryer set up. It's a humidifier right behind me, or a dehumidifier sitting there. Then I also have a big room dehumidifier that if my room gets too humid in here, I'll fire it up. It kind of heats the room up, but it still does good. It'll be nice in the wintertime. Keep the room nice and warm. But it will pull the water out of the air. It will fill its holding container overnight. So, looks like our dog's printing pretty well so far. We're doing his feet, and it looks like his butt, so... I don't see any problems with it so far. I will do more printing with it, of course. I've got quite a few, but I have a purpose in mind for this one. I've got a lot of my printers set up. Like this printer, I only print TPU on. This Ender 5 here, I print PETG. That one's set up for PLA. Those are PLA. I've got a my ANET E12 here that's set up with a Volcano that I print thick, sturdy parts with that .8 nozzle. Behind me here, I've got a Creality S5 for big stuff. I like printing the droids and stuff. If you check my videos, I've got several droid videos on there that they've done. They're a lot of fun. I've got kids in my neighborhood. I take them out and I run them out in the yard and up and down the street, and they just love them. They just go crazy over them. My blue and orange one, it's got sound and everything, so it makes all the R2D2 beep beep boop boops. They just love it. I mean, if you can do something like that and see the joy in their face, then the time and the irritation when things don't go right, because there's nothing you do that's, especially when you're first starting to learn it. I'm no droid building expert by far. There's a group of people that I kind of build along with. We have a group. We're on break for the summer because everybody's so busy. But I'm sure we'll start a new droid project this winter, and they'll do live streams pretty regular on it, and we'll kind of work towards the same project. A lot of fun. It's from Mr. Badley's Facebook page and his Patreon. There's also Droid Division where you can do a pit droid. I'm working on a pit droid. There's his body, part of his head. I should have had it done a long time ago. It's not that hard of a build, not that intensive. I mean, but just life and everything else has kept me busy. And then I print something I'm not 100% happy with it, or so I toss to the side and I print it. I retweak it and print it again until I'm happy with it, because the less sanding I have to do, the happier I am. If I can get away with just the color of the PLA that I use, or the PTG, or whatever I'm using, that's even better. So, and as you know, if you do 3D printing, you can get about any color somewhere to do whatever you want to do. But it's coming along. I'll have it done shortly, I hope. Yep. Not looking too bad. So it's still on the feet. Just a little closer. Noisy. But, my printers, I have two rooms that I use. This is my primary room. As you can see, I got printers all back here, parts, pieces, filament, stands. I've got an enclosed Ender 3 over here that does ABS for me. And then my other room, I've got two printers, and that's where I'm going to set up printer with my Palette 2 Pro that I haven't got around to putting together yet and setting up. I've got the Octoprint set up for it and everything. I've also got my resin printer in there. I'm hoping to get another resin printer, but I've still got quite a bit of expansion room in that room as well. I can put in another. Right now I've just got tables in there and a shelf that has lots of filaments stacked up on it. But I can put another large rack, like I'd probably get two of them in there if I need to expand that much. But when do you have enough? I've got enough now that I have specific purposes for printers, and I tweak them for that purpose, and that's what they get used for, and I'm pretty happy with that. I don't care how fast something gets done, just as long as it gets done and it looks good and it works well when it's done. That's what I like. Let me move this camera down real quick. I had moved it for the earlier stuff. That way I'm not so far away. I forgot I had it up there. Sorry about that. So I don't care about speed. I mean, the fastest I print is probably 50 millimeters. 50 is about where I'd leave it. A lot of stuff requires slower. I know the biggest thing now is everybody's seeing how fast they can print and still get good prints. And, that can get pretty expensive to get, the printer that'll do that. So, not that I don't have a lot wrapped up in printers. I've got a lot of upgrades. I'm a big supporter of the TH3D products. They provide good products. They provide service with their products. If you have a problem on something you buy from them, they will help you out. They're Discord that tons of great people in their Discord. So I use a lot of their products. I use their Easy ABL. I use their flex sheets, their extruders. Gosh, I don't know. I use a lot of stuff from there. And Tim, the owner, he's a nice guy. He's an opinionated, but we all are. He wants the manufacturers to do the best job they can, and if he finds something that they're not doing correctly or that he doesn't feel they're quite being honest about, he'll call them out on it, which doesn't sit well with some people. But hey, that's his deal. He's very technical. He's very knowledgeable. I like him. Nice guy. Helps a lot of people out. If you're helping people, you're doing something right. So, but like I said, I use a lot of their products. This will get, like I said, their flex sheet. If the sensor ever goes bad, I'll put a TH3D Easy ABL on there. They work really well. They're very accurate. Well, it's printing pretty well so far. Like I said, this is a 2.5 hour print. I will let this run, and I'm going to end this stream. The setup's good, and I will do a real short one showing you the dog when it's finished. I'll film it afterwards, and then I'll put it up right after this one. All in all, I'm pretty happy with it, with the limited use I've got. It's made well, it's strong, it's sturdy. Bracketing and everything is nice. Setup was easy, other than, the one side that I had to take the bracket loose. I fought with it for a while. I should have just done it. I looked at it and went, yeah, if I take that bracket loose, it'll be fine, but I want to try to do it with it in there. But I ended up having to do that. Once I did that, everything went together smoothly. Cablings ran well, the insides ran well. Setup was easy, the bed leveling setup was easy. Before you ever power it on, get your bed close. Go around your corners manually to get it close. Check your gantry height to make sure both sides are even. Then do that manual level and fire it up. Set your Z offset initially, then go through a manual bed setup, and then do an automatic. And then you should be good to go. Double check your Z offset after you do your manual, then again after you do your auto. Check your belt tensions, make sure they're tight, and you should be good to go. It's all in all, I'm happy with it. I think it's a good printer. Time will tell. Like I said, I'll let this run, and I'll pop it up. I'll do a quick 2-minute video showing the dog when it's done. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. For the $218 that it is now, absolutely. If you want to do, if you want to do upgrades, there are videos out there. I think Dr. Vax has one showing you how to put a bootloader on it, because they does not put bootloaders on their printers. It does take a programmer to do it, but he shows you step by step how to do that, and then how to put Marlin 2 on it. And then once you put Marlin 2 on a printer, you open up vast upgrade and tunability on your printers, and to fine tune and get much better, more precise, dependable, predictable prints out of the printer. So, but as it is right now, I'm not disappointed in it. It's well worth the money. Solid, well built. Right off the bat, it's printing good so far from what I can see on it. Anyway, I give it, like I said, I give it a thumbs up. Right now on Amazon, there will be a link below in my description that currently, while I'm videoing this, I don't know how long it'll take me to get it up on YouTube, but while I'm videoing this, you can pick up this printer for $218 for a 300 by 300 by 400 printer. That's just crazy dirt cheap. I mean, that's surprising. Anyway, thanks for stopping in. I hope you learned something from this video or enjoyed it. I try to speak. I know I tend to get focused on what I'm doing, so I try to keep the conversation going. Please subscribe to my channel. Help my channel grow. I do post up videos as I can. I've got another printer to do a video on soon. But the ANET, good printer. Like I said, I'm a fan of it. My very first printer was an ANET. I've currently got, this makes my 4th one. I had, well, 5. I got one more. I've got another E12 in the other one. Good printers. They get a bad rap from the early stage, but if ANET wouldn't have come out with the affordable home printers, 3D printing wouldn't be where it is today. They kind of broke the ground on that market. Did they have issues? Absolutely. But every company did at some point. Even new companies that come out, they have problems with their printers. They iron them out. Things get better. ANET has worked really hard. They communicate with their community. They're really trying hard, and they're making some pretty decent printers, especially for the price. So I wouldn't hesitate to recommend one. Check them out. Thanks for stopping in. Have a great day, and we will see you later.